difficulties. But it's all working now. Yay, go me. I say technical difficulties, it's just I'm crap at tech stuff. Actually, I'm not crap at tech stuff, I'm pretty good at tech stuff. But yeah, now we're live. I'm live. This is like my cool light as well. It's purple. I thought it would be cool to do purple light. And I got another light on the side. I got the microphone. Hello. Who's that? The comic room. Hello, mate. How you doing, comic room? The mic seemed to be too far away from me, so I'm going to lean in and say hello. So, Outpost. Top of the evening to you, Squire. All is well, mate. How have we all been? Johnny! Johnny's been watching my videos since I started doing it basically consistently. Ah, there's feedback because I don't know why. I wonder why. No, it's because I'm watching it. I'm recording on my iPad, and I'm watching it on YouTube. So that's probably why. That's probably why it's coming up. If I mute it. Oh, Johnny, I love this time of year, mate. It's my favourite time of year. Nice and cold. It's 0 degrees at the moment in Cardiff. I think it is. Oh no. It's -1. Outpost, no, I don't have anything on pre-order at the moment. There's nothing major that I'm looking for. Yeah, nothing out. Dr. Who. Hello. I want to see Alien Romulus, but I'm going to wait for the film to come onto Disney Plus first. Mainly because the last Alien film I watched was Alien Covenant, and it was shit. -3 and -4. Jesus, Johnny. Cheers, Anthony. Yeah, I can change it up. I was trying to find a different light. Or I can do a disco. But I went for purple because I thought the purple was pretty cool. I did like Prometheus over Alien Covenant. I liked that Alien Covenant was. Well, I liked that Prometheus tried to do something new, but then Ridley Scott couldn't follow it up, so he just did whatever he could. Well, I say whatever he could, because the problem with Alien Covenant is, hey Poju and Salo, Poju and Salo, hello from Finland. Hello Finland. He should have followed on the plot of Prometheus with um, Elizabeth Shaw's character, not just David. What kit have I got for watching films? I got a 4K TV in my living room, which is hooked up to a very old Sherwood media amplifier that I got for 35 quid. It's fantastic. Couple of speakers and an Xbox Series X and a PlayStation 5 as my Blu-ray and 4K players, and there's a multi-region DVD player in there also. In here, I've got a 40-inch non-4K TV. LP, how you doing, my man? Oh, mate, Run Lola Run's fantastic. I've got a sound bar and a PlayStation 4. That's what I'm watching in here. So that's mainly for just normal Blu-rays. The living room we watch the 4Ks in. It was Richard Sounds, was it? I didn't know that. Yeah, Sherwood. I paid 35 quid for it in a second-hand audio dealership, which I used to live around the corner from, because I was looking for an amp when I bought a hi-fi setup, because I bought a tuner, a CD player, and there was something else I needed as well. And I needed an amp, but I didn't have the amp for it. And I went to this place called Deals, which is around the corner from me, and they had a massive Sherwood multimedia amp for 35 quid. It's a proper chunky boy. But the only thing was missing was it was missing the remote control. But it's hooked up in the living room now and it sounds amazing. The CD player and the tuner I no longer have. I got rid of them. Finley One Arches. I've started to really enjoy bad to average movies. I would much rather watch a bang average or bad movie than say Oppenheimer. Am I alone here? They're so easy to consume and just relax to. Finley, I'll tell you this now. 99.9% of the stuff that I own on physical media is what people would generally class as crap. I think we're all a fan of bad movies. I didn't even finish Oppenheimer. I couldn't get through it. And I like Christopher Nolan's movies, but there was just something about that that film Oppenheimer that I found boring. So what I did, I stopped watching it and I watched Tank Girl instead, because Tank Girl is more my jam. And I have a really cool copy of Tank Girl. If I can find it. Yes, there it is. Try and get it out of the bookcase now. Do not try this at home. Oh, I can't get it out of the bookcase. They are rammed in here. Well, it's the Umbrella release. I don't know if you can see. Fuck me, I really did tighten these in. I can't get it out. I can't get it out. But yeah, I got a really cool copy of Tank Girl. Yes, Oppenheimer looks amazing because it's shot on IMAX, and the cinematographer Van Hoytman is a very, very good cinematographer, but the film was just boring. Nah, Outpost, you're correct, mate. Nothing wrong with a quality cheese fest session. I tend to do that a lot. Yeah. So, what was I talking about? I was talking about Prometheus and Alien. Yeah. So I haven't watched Romulus yet. I'm gonna watch it. Hopefully, when it comes on to Disney Plus, because I wasn't that fussed on Covenant. So, have I seen the movie Stalled? Is that the zombie movie set in a toilet cubicle? LP. The Comic Room, yes, mate. Those are bad movies. Um, Blood Rain, Showgirls, and Barbed Wire. Blood Rain. The problem is, Overball just makes crap anyway. I mean, I think there was maybe one or two movies that he made that were actually sort of watchable. Showgirls, I've got a more of appreciation for now than I did back then because it's a Paul Verhoeven movie, and it's got the super hardcore feminist Jessie from Saved by the Bell as a stripper. So and Gina Gershon as well. Barbed Wire, Barbed Wire is great, but bad. When I was in HMV the other day, I found that it had the 4K out. I think the movie Stalled is directed by an Irish guy, who made a different zombie film on a very very small budget. I can't remember who it was now. Rory something. I think he made a film called Dead Meat. I'm gonna check IMDb a sec. Stalled. If anyone's wondering, that's the movie Stalled. Oh, Christian James. Why do I know that name? Oh no, he didn't make that. He made Freak Out, which is it's a very very low budget slasher homage comedy parody thing. It's a lot of fun. Alien Romulus is a love letter to every previous Alien movie, the greatest hits, if you like. Well, that's cool. That's kind of up my what's the word for it? My expectations now. So I will try and track down. It's most likely on Tubi, so I can check the Tubi app and see if it's on there. Anybody watched anything good lately? I do have beer, by the way, but it's non-alcoholic. Yes, LP it is. It's a UK movie. It was made on a ridiculously small budget. It was made for I can't remember, but it took 5 years to complete, according to the IMDb trivia. If I remember watching the behind the scenes, I think they used a shopping trolley as a what do they call it? A Like a dolly for filming. I think they used that in the film. Terminator 4K is superb. Like watching it for the first time, epic. I think you mentioned this yesterday, Outpost, and it made me really jealous because I didn't pick it up when I was in HMV. Oh, cool. Podru. The new Arrow J Horror Rising box set of 7 movies. Cool. Is there a video shop scene? Yes, LP. There is. There's a. I think the majority of the film is set in a video shop. What's in the new J Horror Rising box set? I've kind of stopped following the majority of Arrow stuff now because they don't tend to release that much that I want. Like I remember back in the day when Arrow first started and they were doing the Masters of Giallo when they were doing all the horror stuff, and then all the Blu-rays would come in the white the white window boxes. Yeah, I think the DVD is out of print now because it was released in the UK by Anchor Bay. Comic Room. You're on a bit of a Mexican and Italian horror film kick. Go with the flow, man. Go with the flow. A really good one to watch is Delamore, aka Cemetery Man. That's a really cool Italian movie. Obviously, Suspiria, and you've got a host of Dario Argento horror movies to watch. I'm not really up on Mexican horror. I know there's the Coffin Joe movies, but I'm not into Mexican horror movies. I'm not massively into Italian horror movies either, but I have ones that I like. Um, District 9 is great. Outpost. Such a good film. Yes, I watched The Sadness and I fucking hated it. I thought it was rubbish. There was this whole thing about how it was the most violent, gruesome movie that you'll see. I watched it and I was just like, this is rubbish. It was just really, really bad. If you hear a voice in the background, it's because my brother's in the other room. No accounting for taste. Michael Rinn, 80s film with Roy Scheider, pretty average watch with a sleazy 80s vibe. Yes, 52 Pickup is a very sleazy movie. It was during John Frankenheimer's sleazy 80s period. Oh man, we got nothing in Cardiff. Go Glasgow. Train to Busan's amazing. I love Train to Busan. I've got it on Blu-ray somewhere. Yeah, really good film. Kind of reinvigorated the zombie movie. Tempted to buy the Arrow 4K of Demolition Man, but will wait for the standard version. I wouldn't bother. I'd buy the Arrow 4K of Demolition Man, um, because like the standards available, just you can get the standard version of Demolition Man anywhere on Blu-ray. So if you there's HMV in the UK released a steelbook Blu-ray of Demolition Man that came in a hard box, and I was going to pick it up, and I realized, well, I've got the exact same Blu-ray in a Sylvester Stallone Blu-ray box set, so I'm just not going to bother. So if you want to get the 4K of Demolition Man, I would highly recommend going for the 4K because it's going to be a brand new transfer. Favorite horror film for me, Outpost, is Dawn of the Dead. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, it's Johnny. Second Train to Busan Peninsula was not great. Well, it wasn't awful. It was okay. It was watchable, but it didn't feel like didn't have that same vibe as the first film. I watched the first Terrifier box set, well, the first Terrifier movie, and uh, it was all right. Nothing. I haven't seen the second one or the third one yet. I've just gone off horror movies. It's been a long. I watched a lot of horror films in my 20s and my early 30s, and now I've gone through all that. I did all the extreme stuff. I went through like the French in like new wave of horror with Martyrs and Frontiers and stuff like that, and Switchblade Romance or Haute Tension, High Tension. But yeah, like, if I watch a horror film now, it's It's either one that's something like, I don't know, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, Scream, or like Dawn of the Dead, and stuff like that. I've just properly gone off horror movies. I'll tell you what I did buy the other day. Let me find it because I can actually get this off the shelf. So I picked up a couple of films the other day, and one is Target, which is a Peter Bogdanovich film, which is like it's a love letter to like Boris Karloff's horror movies with Boris Karloff's in that. Brannigan, which is a really cool 70s John Wayne cop movie, and Tales from the Hood, Part 1 and Part 2. These were reduced to $7.99 in HMV, so I was just like, give them a look. So yeah, I picked up these three the other day. And yeah, BFI sales, they were all $7.99. Oh, LP, really? You should be ashamed of yourself, mate. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey movies. There's British horror, then there's crap British horror. Yeah, comic. I wasn't that first on Terrifier 1, to be honest with you. Johnny, I don't know if Leprechaun does count as a horror movie. The first one might do, but anything after that probably doesn't. I know there was a remake of that, wasn't there? It was a remake with the Swan Hornswoggle from WWE playing the Leprechaun. I want to see Strange Darling because that looks really interesting. Terrifying one, too. Nice clear cases. Sorry, if I'm not, it doesn't look like I'm looking at the camera. It's because my iPad is on its side. Well, it's on landscape, and I've got the chat log on my monitor. Let me show you. So the monitor, I'm reading your chat there, and on my laptop there. I'll pop you back down. Wow, the iPad camera is really fucking good. So what year did Leprechaun come out? 1990? Because what year did Friends start? Friends started in what, 1994? And she was originally in the TV series of well, it didn't last very long, maybe 2 or 3 episodes. It was the TV version of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 1993. So yeah, so 1993, Jennifer Aniston was in Leprechaun, and then in 1994, she starred as Rachel in Friends and became huge. So I wouldn't really go that far as to say her acting was terrible. No, the BFI titles were reduced in a offer in HMV. Because they had a couple of Criterion movies as well, reduced from like down to £10 and £13, but there wasn't anything there I really wanted. I've got 3 Criterion movies in my collection. They are The Night of the Living Dead, Shaft 1 and 2, and the Seijun Suzuki movie Tokyo Drifter, which is like a pop sort of very 60s gangster assassin movie. It's cool. Yes, there is a leprechaun in the hood. There's also a leprechaun in space. See, this is what I don't like when they put slasher movies. Well, a slasher franchise in space, because they did it with Jason X was Friday the 13th on a spaceship, and then there was Hellraiser. I think they did one of those in space, or maybe two of those in space. Leprechaun in space. As an Adam Sandler fan comic, I still haven't watched Uncut Gems, and I like the Safdie brothers. I thought Good Time was great. Yeah, so the like because initially I went into HMV to have a look at the two for £15 on the um, premium collection, because I only ever buy them when they're on a, like two for £15. And when I checked on the website, they had loads on there that I really wanted. But when I went into my store in Cardiff, they didn't have any of the ones I wanted. I was going to pick up The Shining, the extended edition, but then that's in the Stanley Kubrick box set, and I've also got that on DVD. And Target with Gene Hackman and Matt Dillon, but I decided in the end not to get them when I saw the BFI titles. Oh, Raging Bull, Blowout, Midnight Cowboy, Being There. See, Outpost, that were the ones that you've got. Blowout is incredible, but I've got that on Arrow Blu-ray. I've got Midnight Cowboy on DVD. Being There was one of the ones that was reduced. Straw Dogs, it's Sam Peckinpah, great movie. I've got that on DVD. Deep Cover is a film that I really want to see because I've never seen it, and I like Lawrence Fishburne, and I think is it Jeff Goldblum as well. Raging Bull, I don't get the love for that film. I just don't get it. Heretic, is that the one with Hugh Grant, where he locks some girls in a house and they have to uh, play his games to get out? I will. There's another one as well. One False Move is another one that I want to get hold of. I think that was released by. I don't think that was released by Criterion, but I think it was released by Eureka or someone like, or maybe Radiance. I'm not sure. LP is another one I haven't seen. I remember when Oakjack came out on Netflix, and I was like, I'm going to watch that because I like the guy who I like the filmmaker who made um, Snowpiercer, which is an incredible movie, but I just never got around to watching it. Yes, yes, comic. I completely agree with you, which is why I wanted to set this up so we could talk about movies and not just focus on the physical aspect of it. I just love chatting movies with people. First HDR movie I watched was Lucy, the Luc Besson movie with Scarlett Johansson, where she became the internet at the end. Bonkers movie, but it's fun. I quite enjoy it. So yeah, if anyone goes to HMV, they've got quite a few BFI titles that are reduced to £7.99. I did not know that Brannigan had come out. I think this film's great. This and McHugh from 1970 something, 1975 4, just before. Well, it was some of the last films that John Wayne did. These are like the 2 cop movies that he made. Brannigan's got a really, really good car chase through London, but it ends silly at the London Bridge. But the car chase itself is brilliantly staged, and it's also got Richard Attenborough in it as well, and Mel Ferrer. Really good film, this one. Douglas Hickok directed that. But yeah, BFI is pretty cool. The only other BFI title I think I've got is Day the Earth Caught Fire. But do you ever change your mind on movies? I recently rewatched Zodiac, as I thought it was so boring first time around and lovely the second time. Cheers, Eye Doctor. Finley, yes, I do change my mind on films. One of my favourite films of all time is the movie Ronin with Robert De Niro and Jean Reno. First time I saw it, I wasn't that fussed on it. I don't think I got it. I think I was too young. Now I am obsessed with that movie. It's one of my top 5 films of all time. There was one year I watched it once a month for 12 months. So yeah, I do change my mind on movies quite a lot. Other films that I've changed my mind on. 28 Days Later. I hated it the first time I saw it, and then I watched it not that long ago, and I sort of enjoyed it a bit more. But yeah, Ronin's probably the one that I changed. Changed my mind the most on. Film is so good. The car chase sequences are amazing. Michael, I have never seen The Man Who Wasn't There. Like, there's a lot of Coen Brothers movies that I've never seen. I've never seen Blood Simple. I've never seen what's the other film they did? Raising Arizona. I've never seen that. I have seen a couple of them. I've seen like the Hudsucker Proxy and Barton Fink, which I thought was great. But yeah, I'm not a massive Coen Brothers person, which is weird because Coen Brothers and Sam Raimi kind of go in, like they're very close to each other as like filmmakers and stuff, because I think they helped out on the first film and the second Evil Dead. But yeah, just not a huge fan of the Coens. Oh, Anthony, that makes me happy, mate, because it's still sealed. I haven't opened it yet. If the print looks as good as you say it is, then I will be a happy, happy, happy man. Finley, watch Ronin. It's amazing. Yeah, Traffic. I remember watching that on VHS when it first came out. Well, when it first came to VHS, it was in one of those big box ex rental copy, and I think it was too young to really grasp it. I just found it quite boring. Michael, are you talking about Ronin? Because if you're talking about Ronin, yes, I agree. It drags a little bit in places, and the first half of the film is definitely superior to the second half of the film, because obviously the first half of the film is just the setup, and the setup is insanely good. But the second half of the film, it's more twisty turny and double crossing, triple crossing. Trainspotting, we have a few good films that aren't too well known. Any Welsh movies? Twin Town? Twin Town, probably. We haven't really got a huge we haven't really got a big film sort of industry in Wales. We're more focused on TV in Cardiff and Wales. So like Doctor Who is filmed here, and um, there was the movie Infinite with Mark Wahlberg that was shot here. It was doubled for New York. Um, okay, fair enough, Michael. Well, there we go. Um, yeah, LP. I did nearly 11 years with them, and yeah, I'm done now. Dead Man's Shoes is really good. Dead Man's Shoes is great. Shane Meadows is a fantastic filmmaker. Like Dead Man's Shoes was really good. 24/7 is pretty good. Bob Hoskins was in that as well. This is England. Like This is England's great. Just I remember watching This is England for the first time on Christmas Eve when it had just come out on DVD, and I was in the house by myself, and it was what time was it? It must have been really late. I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I put it on, and I was still working at Blockbuster then when that came out, and oh mate, like This is England was just so good, so good. And then obviously he did the TV series as well, um, with what was it? This is England 90, was it 90 or 87, then 90, and then 95 or 90, whatever it was. But it was the first film that I saw Stephen Graham as an actor, if you know what I mean. So I saw Snatch beforehand, and I saw him as Tommy, and I didn't really think much of him. And then I saw him as Combo in This Is England, and I was like, my mind was fucking blown that like this guy was playing second fiddle to Jason Statham in Snatch. Are there any DVDs that I would like to upgrade to HD? Ooh, what would I upgrade? There's always stuff that I want to upgrade. Like the main one I wanted to get a better print of was The Crow, and finally it came out this year, so I was able to get the 4K of The Crow because the previous Blu-ray it was an okay print, but it wasn't. It was like one of the earliest Blu-rays, if I remember rightly. John Mooney, I am a big fan of your show. Do you have any favorite historical movies, or do I have a favorite historical movie? Historical movie. If we're talking like, are we talking like old um history, like stuff like Braveheart and stuff like that, then not a massive like fan of medieval type of stuff. If we're talking about historical, like modern history, then yes, I do. I'm a big World War Two movie fan. My favorite World War Two film is I can't even remember what it's called now, and I say it's my favorite. No, Dirty Dozen. Dirty Dozen, I think, is a great movie. Makes a really good like triple feature. If you watch the Dirty Dozen, Kelly's Heroes, and Where Eagles Dare, that is like three badass uh, World War Two films. Talking of Blockbuster, I used to manage the Eddington store in Birmingham. Second store's open in the UK. That's pretty cool, Outpost. Yeah, that is pretty cool. I worked for them between the years 2003 and 2013. I was right there at the end when they went bust. And it sucked losing my job because I fucking love that job. 10 free movie rentals a week. Could not go wrong with that. Um, Anthony, I don't know if Holiday on the Buses does class it as a Welsh, count it as a Welsh movie. Um, LP, have a good one, my dude. Cheers for popping up again. Where are we? Wow, what a difference, Blockbuster Video. Yeah, back in the day where you could rent a movie, you could go to a shop, pick up a box, read the back, and pay a man £3.49 for 2 nights, and then bring it back 3 days later and moan that you had a fine. J Rock 85, yo. The film Submarine from 2010 is set in Swansea. It's worth a watch. I've never seen it. However, I know it's a Richard Ayoade movie, and yes, it was filmed in Swansea. Yeah, Johnny, there is some really good films from Korea about the Korean War. Um, previously viewed tapes. Um, John, I'm not a big reader. I'm a big reader of graphic novels. I don't really have the time to sit down and read an entire novel. However, I have read novels that have been adapted from films. So, oh, I read Wise Guy, which was really good. Which is what was it called? Goodfellas was based on, and I read I Am Legend, which I think is great. But yeah, I'm more into like graphic novels and stuff like that. I did read some of the Parker novels though, the Richard Stark Parker novels. They were cool. I like crime, uh, sort of noiry stuff. Outpost, I have seen. I Saw the Devil many times. It's on. I've got it on Blu-ray. Um, it is a brutal movie. I like watching it after I watch. Well, I like to watch Old Boy after watching I Saw the Devil, because Old Boy, while it's extreme, it's more relaxing than I Saw the Devil. Yeah, Anthony, I've been meaning to watch that. It can't be any worse than the Netflix blockbuster video TV show, which was crap. I am enjoying the new place. It's a lot further away than where I used to live, but I have so much more room. So much more room. Um, like the old Cavern was like it was really small. Like if you watch the old videos, you'll see how small it is. But like I've got so much room now. Like I can stand all the way over here, and I've still got a ton of room. Like I switched everything around today. So I've moved the desk from where it was to over here. John, I'm a big fan of Batman. Long Halloween is amazing, and The Dark Knight Returns. Yes, Frank Miller's Dark Knight. Is it Dark Knight Returns that Frank Miller did? Yes, it was. I do have Watchmen as well. I have the graphic novel of that. I read a lot of the independent sort of graphic novels that Image release, because I spent majority of my youth reading Marvel and DC, and I kind of went off them because I'm not that big into superheroes anymore. But I like some of the horror novels and the post-apocalyptic stuff. I haven't watched Penguin yet. Outpost. I will at some point. It's on Now TV, which I can watch in the living room because of the 4K TV. To be completely honest with you, I still haven't watched The Batman. I have the 4K and I've had it for about 2 years, and I still haven't watched it. Which is weird because I'm a Batman fan, so I don't know why I haven't watched it yet. I've got some. There's actually some Batman. I've got some Batman figures on the shelf just on the side here. Like I moved it all around earlier because I managed to empty a box. Um, if you can notice, see this chest of drawers by here. There is a shelf on the top holding some box sets. Now that shelf is being kept up by the 2004 Star Wars trilogy on DVD, and the other end is being kept up with the 1997 Star Wars trilogy VHS, the gold box. So that's my that's how I'm keeping up a shelf. Finley, when I get around to watching it, I'll probably enjoy it. Started watching it, and I really like the use of Nirvana in it. I mean, Outpost is not going to be any worse than Batman and Robin. There's a freeze. I haven't really watched a lot of stuff recently. Obviously, trying to find a new job is taking up quite a bit of time. So yeah, majority of my time has been just like scouring the internet for jobs and all that jazz. So yeah, my time watching stuff hasn't really happened. Although um, when I finish this stream, I'll be watching Arcane on Netflix because it's fucking amazing. No, haven't seen the Substance yet. I haven't watched any new films this year. Have I watched any? What films have come out this year that I've seen? Probably not many. I don't know. I'm just a little bit. I'm out of touch with most of the new stuff. Although finally, there is a possibility that Havoc, the action movie that Gareth Evans directed, will actually be out at some point, considering that it was filmed in 2000 and well, it was filmed 4 years ago. In fact, it was filmed in Cardiff. It was they filmed it in Cardiff um, to like have it as New York. So yeah, looking forward to Havoc. That's one film, and Nobody two. John, I've got the complete Batman animated series, the Bruce Timm animated series on Blu-ray. I got it a really good deal on Amazon. The Beetlejuice sequel was the most fun I've had watching a new film this year. That's cool. J Rock 85. That's pretty cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll probably watch it when I get around to it when I get a chance. I like the first one. What do you expect, Anthony? It's a remake, well, sequel to surprisingly underwhelming 1995 movie. Was it 95 or 96? Like Twister is okay. It's all right. It's fun. I remember seeing it in the cinema, but when I rewatched it a couple of weeks back, wasn't as good as I remembered it. So yeah, I'm not got a massive hope for Twisters. The Beetlejuice sequel, yeah. Like I said, I like the first one. I'll watch it when it comes out. I enjoyed Tim Burton's work with the Wednesday Show. I thought that was pretty good. But Tim Burton is a weird filmmaker. He makes some odd choices. Like Edward Scissorhands is amazing. Batman's amazing. Batman Returns is amazing. Beetlejuice is fun. What was the other one? The first one he did, Pee Wee's Big Adventure with Pee Wee Herman, and then he did Ed Wood. That was really good, and then Planet of the Apes, which wasn't great. And yeah, so for me, I think like the stuff that Tim Burton's done in the last 20 years or so, 25 years, just hasn't hit the point where his career originally was during the 90s. Fair enough, Outpost. Yeah, I feel the same about Knock at the Cabin. Yeah, that film didn't go anywhere. But Dave Bautista was pretty decent in it. See, this is the thing. I can't believe Philip Seymour Hoffman was in that movie, considering like he's classed as one of this generation's greatest actors. I mean, some sequels can be good, Michael, like The Godfather Part Two, Terminator Two. I think that's about it. Mad Max Two. What am I talking about? Mad Max Two or The Road Warrior. Same Johnny. Last film I saw in the cinema was Deadpool 2. G'day, Bryce. Thanks, man. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, the live trial actually went surprisingly well. I was only going to do it for 15 minutes to see how it went, and we ended up going for 45. Aliens, yes, comic Aliens. You are 100% correct, mate. Yeah, Aliens is an incredible sequel. So, if it's a Cameron sequel, then yes. Well, Mission Impossible movies. I saw the first one in the cinema in 1996, and I wasn't really a fan. But then I remember watching John Woo's second one and liking that a bit more than the first one. But then at the time, that's all I was really into was like John Woo movies. So I didn't really know anything about Brian De Palma as a filmmaker. So I did not know that Brian De Palma was this guy who had done like Scarface and Carlito's Way and fucking the what else did he do? Like Blowout. Just these like really famous sort of movies like Dress to Kill as well. Fantastic movie, Dress to Kill with Michael Caine. So yeah, I didn't really know anything about Brian De Palma as a filmmaker. So I was just like, meh. Mission Impossible 1, meh. Mission Impossible 2, in hindsight, when I watch it now, I think it's John Woo's second worst American movie. Like, before he went back to Hong Kong or China. Mission Impossible 3, I thought was okay. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, is it? Is that the fourth one? Ghost Protocol? Brad Bird directed it. Meh. And yeah, don't really watch the rest of them. Yeah, Outpost. Brian De Palma is a great director, but the shit that he's done in the last few years has not been good. Blade Runner 2049 was a good sequel. In fact, and this is going to be a like this is people aren't going to like this, but I'm not a fan of Blade Runner. I admire like how it looks, the way it was directed, Harrison Ford's performance, Rutger Hauer's performance, like all I love how it was put together, like everything that's put together, but it's so fucking boring. It is such a boring movie, whereas Blade Runner 2049 had a better pace to it, and I found it more enjoyable. As not to say I think Denis Villeneuve is a better filmmaker, but he does seem to be hitting it out of the park, film after film after film after film. So with like Blade Runner, Prisoners, and the two Dune movies, as well as Sicario, like yeah, he's smashing it. Whereas the last few Ridley Scott movies have been meh. It's not that I don't like it, Outpost. It's just I find it boring. And I like science fiction. I like boring science fiction. Like, I'm a huge sci-fi nerd. But I like sci-fi that has a bit of oomph to it. Doesn't have to be like 100 miles an hour. And I get that what Ridley Scott was doing was trying to do a sort of film noir set in a cyberpunk sort of future. But even film noirs were like more action packed. But yeah, don't get me wrong. I've got Blade Runner on Blu-ray. I bought it. I specifically bought it because I wanted the final cut to see how different it was from the director's cut. Because I remember watching the director's cut, and I remember watching the theatrical cut as well when we were younger. Like even like Dune, I like David Lynch's version of Dune, and I haven't watched the new version of Dune either. Dark City's fucking amazing. It is such a good movie, Dark City. Oh, Anthony, Thief is incredible. It's such a good movie. And to think that's Michael Mann's first theatrical film. Like, that's his first movie. Michael Mann's first movie was fucking Thief with James Caan. So good. And then he followed it up with The Keep, which is not very good at all. However, when I watched The Keep, I saw it in a very, very cut down, edited, bastardized version, I think, which is the reason why Michael Mann kind of disowned it, because it was cut by the studios and stuff. But yes, Thief is so good. It took me years, actually, answering a question that was asked earlier. Is there a film that I've changed my mind on since? Yes, there is. Heat. I remember watching Heat when I was in my late teens, probably 17, 18. Because it came out, 1995? And I wasn't into it. I don't think I really understood. I don't think I really got it. At the time, I was watching Adam Sandler movies and fucking Biodome and stuff like that. So then when I watched Heat, I just found it quite slow and boring. But when I watched Heat again, like 2 years ago, I got it. I completely got it. I thought Heat was incredible. The same thing happened with Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood. But yeah, so I watched it in the wrong frame of mind as a teenager, but then watched it as a massive film nerd as an adult, and I appreciated it, and I fucking fell in love with that film. I think it's incredible, and probably one of the best crime dramas, if not the best crime thriller, crime drama, cops and robbers movie ever made. When I said the same thing about Unforgiven, the Clint Eastwood film, is that again, when I saw that, I found it slow and boring. But then when I watch it again as an adult, to me, I can then see how the script works, and the performances work, and how the plot comes together, and I grew a new appreciation for Unforgiven. And now Unforgiven is probably one of my favourite westerns. I think it's probably the best western that's ever been made, but then that's my opinion. So, but yeah, Heat, Pacino and De Niro. Say no more. Cinematically, Blade Runner is stunning. Yeah, it is. It is. It looks incredible. It's got a fucking amazing score as well. But yeah, it's lacking in terms of script. It's boring. And when you're used to seeing Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, then when you see him as Deckard, it's a bit like, come on, he's Indiana Jones and fucking Han Solo. Yeah, there is a rumor that Vinegar Syndrome may release the Keep on 4K. I don't know how they're going to be able to because I think it's still. I think there's still the whole Tangerine Dream issue with the soundtrack, and whether or not Michael Mann still has the original film elements for the correct release. Because if Vinegar Syndrome released the Keep on 4K in the current version that it's in, the current cut, then I just wouldn't bother because it's just shit. Cheers, comic. Thank you, my man. Have a good one, dude. I'm not surprised, Outpost. I'm really not surprised that Harrison Ford did not get along with Ridley Scott. From what I've heard, not many people get along with Ridley Scott because he's too much of a perfectionist, if you know what I mean. I know Stanley Kubrick used to be a perfectionist as well, but I was watching the making of, I think it was Alien, the like 3 hour documentary that was on the Alien Blu-ray, and it was just like he came on at the like. I think it was the film was turned down by multiple different people until he came on board, and then just basically took over everything. Now I like to see a director with a vision, which I think is really cool, and Scott had a fantastic vision for that film, and it shows, and he just did an amazing job. But from the footage and from stories and stuff, it just seems like he's not the nicest person in the world to work for. But then again, same can be said for James Cameron. People have moaned and complained that James Cameron is an awful guy on set, but he gets results. Like sometimes you've got to be a bit of a dick to get the shot that you need. Like Stanley Kubrick used to make people do 100, 200 takes of a 30 seconds like scene, or maybe even less than that, like a 2 second scene or a look. But you need to get that right look because filmmaking is like anything. It's a job. You want to be perfect at your job. Outpost, he did the same on Aliens as well because it was shot in the UK, wasn't it? So at certain times of the day, the UK crew would be like, right, go and have a cup of coffee and a cup of tea and a biscuit. And it's like, no, we're shooting a movie. So yeah, didn't they? I think they there was a lot of issues on the making of Aliens because it was shot in the UK. I think the same thing happened on another film as well. Maybe it was Star Wars as well. I think it was on Star Wars because that was shot in the UK. But then that's the thing. How do you get a film as perfect as like Aliens or Terminator 2 without um, getting everybody to do their jobs correctly? Like you can't. I mean, he wouldn't have won. What was it? 11 Oscars for Titanic if he hadn't been a bit of a dick on set and made people do their job correctly. Because well, if you do your job correctly, I know I say this because I lost my job the other day because I didn't do my job correctly. But if you do your job correctly, you will get the results you need. Yeah, American directors were not used to English tea breaks. I'd want to see what a Hong Kong director would be like in the UK, making a movie in the UK. Like, take someone like John Woo filming a film in the UK, and they had tea breaks. It's like, well, we shot this entire action scene in 2 weeks, and it's 17 minutes long, but we managed to do it because everybody put their all in because they were able to take breaks and they weren't pushed to their limits. Maybe Japan should take a little bit of um, what's the word for it? Inspiration from that, and not push their manga artists and their anime artists to the brink of ill health just to make sure that they get a cartoon on TV. Yeah. Right. My beer has gone very cold, so I'm gonna put that back in the fridge in a minute. My Pepsi's almost gone as well. Yeah, me too. Could possibly be Eastwood's last film, and it'd be sad. I mean, the guy's what, 93 now? Oh, cheers, Anthony. Yes, mate. Don't worry about it. Um, I hope to find one very, very soon because I like money. I don't like being unemployed, but I have not been unemployed for 10 years. I worked for one company for 10 years, got made redundant, worked for another company for 10 years, and now I'm unemployed again. So in the last 20 years, I have had a total of 5 months unemployment. So yeah, I should be all right. I'll be fine. Everything home theatre. I'm giving you a double salute, my man. Thank you, bud. Glad you're being entertained. But yeah, as I was saying, could be Eastwood's last film. He is 92, 93. Nothing yet. Outpost. The weird thing is, I don't like the idea of this. Is I've got to go and have a meeting to sign on about universal credit tomorrow, and it just makes me feel. It's horrible. It makes me feel low that I have to sign on to claim universal credit and job seekers allowance to be able to survive. Um, and it's not. I'm not putting anyone down who gets job seekers allowance and universal credit. But like I said, I've been in employment for 22 years, and well, 20 years, and yeah, it's just having to sign on and having that whole stigma of universal credit is just it's a little bit depressing. But cheers, John Mooney. Thanks, man. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for popping in. It's been a pleasure. Have a good night, my man. But yeah, no interviews lined up just yet. I applied for a city council job yesterday for Cardiff Council, so waiting to hear back on that. Which is a very different job to what I did before. I was a store man. Well, not a store manager, but I was essentially running a shop 5 days a week, 9 hours a day. And so I've worked retail for the last 20 years. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm old. Everything hurts. It hurts to kneel down. It hurts to stretch. Yeah, true. I never thought of that. Getting my tax money back. Yeah, fuck the tax man. Um, I hope I get something this side of Christmas, but if I don't, I've got some money coming from my job because of how my job ended. Uh, I'll just tell you, I got fired. I got fired for misconduct and performance. Essentially, they fucked me over with stress, and I made mistakes, and they decided to get rid of me. So, because I've been with the company for um, 10 years, I got dismissed with 12 weeks worth of pay and unused holiday, which is about 6.5, nearly 7 grand. So fingers crossed that'll be okay. But half of that's got to pay my rent for the next however many months. But the one reason why I don't want to go back into retail is because I I can't be asked anymore. I can't be asked dealing with the shit that comes with working for retail, and it sucks working retail. And if you ever worked in a retail environment, you know how bad it is, and you know how horrible some people can be to people who work in retail, and you know how corporations work, and they are mean, mean, mean bastards. I gave 10 years of my, nearly 11 years of my life to this company who decided to get rid of me during a year that had been very stressful and was not great. Yeah. After 10 years, I'd had a clean record for an entire 10 years, and then I obviously made mistakes this year that I know I probably shouldn't have made mistakes, but they were mistakes that I made that were caused by stress in work, stress at home, stress in my life, and they just were like, "Yeah, go see ya." Yeah, still there in retail. It is crap, Johnny, mate. It is. It is. I don't know. I don't know why I stuck it out for so long. Mental health is so important. So, because I was going through occupational health through Tesco, I worked for Tesco. I mentioned it before. Because I was going through occupational health with Tesco due to the investigation processes and stuff. They put me through occupational health. I followed all that through. They dismissed me, and then when I went and told me to take the counselling, so I went to take the counselling. I signed on the other day, and they went, "We can't do the counselling because you no longer work for Tesco's." So I was just like, "Well, fuck this." So yeah, mental health is so important. And do you know what the weird thing is? Like, I was dreading being fired. I thought they might have demoted me. I wasn't fully expecting to be fired. I thought they might have dropped me from duty manager back to customer assistant with a pay cut. I wouldn't have liked it. And I was kind of bricking it. I was like, "Oh God, what am I going to do if they fire me?" But when she told me, she was like, "We're dismissing you," it was like a massive weight had been lifted off my shoulder. There's things that I do not have to put up with in that company and with customers and fucking crackheads and alcoholics and thieves and shit anymore is just a lot easier. And doing this streaming thing and doing more videos and stuff has been really good for my mental health, because like I've got friends. Don't get me wrong, I've got friends, but we're all adults. We're all in our 40s, and everyone's spread out now. So I don't get to see him as often as I would like. But doing this, chatting with you guys, is mental health. Like, this is counselling for me. And so, yeah, it's really, really cool that everyone's doing this. Yeah, when one door closes, a bigger door opens. A bigger, better one opens. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, so that's why I'm no longer in a job. I'll find a job. Even if I do have to go back into retail for a short period of time, I will. But I'd rather not. Yeah, well, they can. Yeah, of course I'll be fine. Look, the on reflection, I think if they hadn't have dismissed me, it wouldn't be long before I walked. It would not be. It wouldn't have been long before I did it off my own back. I would like to have done it off my own back, but these things happen, and yeah. So the only thing I miss about the job is the staff, and the staff were great, and we all got on. We had banter and everything, but yeah, the actual job, I was doing the job of like 3 different people because they're so understaffed and everything. But yeah, I don't miss doing that job now. I just miss the people I used to work with, which kind of sucks when you don't work with them anymore. When you get a good relationship going with people. So yeah. So as we've gone on a bit longer tonight. 75 minutes we've been live, and there's 18 people watching. Thanks everyone for watching tonight. It's been really, really cool, and this has been really fun to do, and I really enjoyed chatting with everyone, especially chatting about movies and stuff, because I don't get to chat movies with people that often. I couldn't do it with the people in work because they don't watch fucking movies. They're all 19-year-olds, and yeah, so chatting with people who know stuff, just it makes me happy. This is my thing. This is why I did the videos. I wish I could do this every night, but I probably could do it every night. But I got to get up early in the morning because I got to go and have this flipping Universal Credit interview thing to show that I am who I am, and that's at 10:40 in the morning, and I don't tend to get up early. Yeah, so this is literally what I wanted. This is just like chilling out, chatting, talking about movies and stuff. Yeah, that's fine. Everything home theatre, that's fine. And just enjoy your vacation, bud. Enjoy your vacation. Don't watch me when you're on vacation. See, I would love to start the stream earlier, but I live with my brother. My brother doesn't finish work until 8 p.m. So because I love cooking, I cook dinner for the two of us. So I cook. I start food at like 8 o'clock. So by the time he gets home, there's stuff ready for us to have as a meal because, like, he can cook, but you don't want to cook when you get in at 8 o'clock in the evening. And because I love cooking, I do food for us. So that's why I start a bit late. But if I can start a bit earlier, I will. The only reason I put it on at 10:30 was because I started cooking late tonight. So everything home theatre, you're the postman. You're the postman from Kevin Costner's Postman. That's cool. Glad you're listening to me. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a night now, guys, and possibly be back tomorrow night. I don't know. I might not be back tomorrow night. I might jump on Friday actually. I might do a Friday night film club thing. I'll have to think about it and come up with something. But I'm not gonna do it tomorrow night because I'm gonna chill out with my brother for a bit tomorrow because he's off. And yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna end it tonight. This is really, really cool. Thanks everyone for having a chat with me. This has been fun. See, if I was on one of those like porn sites, you could tip me coins, and I could just talk about movies. But I'm not. So yeah, cheers, guys. Yeah, this has been cool. As usual, I've had fun, and I've been Pedro, aka Pete. I'm gonna sign off as I sign my videos off, which is I'm going to give you a salute. I'm going to throw up the peace sign, and I am going to tell you that I am out. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.